nice and early this evening. And do you know what I'm going to call these live streams of mine? Welcome to an edition of Nikki's Just Saying, because I do like to just say. Um, I want to start off with something that I said on my last live stream. I used the word pikeys. I really do want to apologise because I don't even use that word in real world, and it is derogatory. And I should never. I should have said travellers. So I really do want to apologise, and you won't be hearing that from me again because I'm not disrespectful like that. I really am not. I knew as soon as I said it, so I really, really, really do apologise. Um, right, something made me laugh today. Right, I'm going to read it out to you. There was a message from Sharon Gow on YouTube, one of them community posts. And I'm going to read it out to you. Nikki Cooper, let's have an honest and open chat. Live or pre-recorded, your choice. Sad to hear you and your puppet master T fell out. Sad you were used. Hey ho, open and honest chat is open to you. Now, do these people actually really truly believe that I'm that much of a dickhead? Now, seeing as she's so publicly asked, I will so publicly decline. For the following reasons. I do not want people to think that I am shook to have a conversation with Sharon Gow. But there is no effing way would I ever talk to that. She must be getting me twisted with fucking Lou Dickens or something. Also, Sharon Gow, when a puppet has no master, the puppet has no life. The puppet cannot function without a puppet master. Do I look like I'm not functioning to you? Yeah. All up. Do you know what? Right, you people need to stop thinking that I'm a dickhead. Yeah, because what am I meant to be grateful for this? Oh, Sharon Gale wants to talk to me. The things you said about me, love, me and you will never talk. Yeah, and and that's all the time that I am really going to waste on you. Um, there was a there was a few things I wanted to cover this evening. Yeah, but and I've been putting up a lot of Pizzagate docs. Um, to the brew, to my Missy and my Ronnie, my two dogs. And I accept anybody's friend request because there's nothing personal on the page. It is just um, full of banging, proper banging documentaries. I must say so myself. And I am going to be sticking a bit with the Pizzagate because I've got a feeling that's what the elites do not want coming out. They don't want me talking about it because then it points to that Mr. Robert David Steele. And obviously then that runs in with Sean Atwood. And I still would like to know what happened to Mark Morgan, your link in Russia. Yeah, Sean, the FBI guy, the one good FBI guy that fled to Russia with all this incriminating encrypted files on people that was involved in the original Epstein when he got arrested in 2007. You claimed, done a whole, and I believed you at the time, mate, not going to lie, that this was legit. You even had a rush to someone in Russia who was just around the corner and went and checked that they was absolutely authentic. So you've actually confirmed that you've got a link with this FBI guy the one good FBI guy who had to flee to Russia with all these encrypted files. But not only have you got that link, Sean, you've verified them. Yeah. So I ask again, what happened to Mark Duggan? What happened to Mark Duggan and what happened to the encrypted files that you had access to? Ah, let me guess. Bullshit. Yeah, absolute bullshit. And I want to put out there that I've been jailed for obtaining money by deception. Yeah. I don't know what the hell you call that with Sean Atwood because he's made some really big claims. He's known like in America. He was being pushed as the UK's most on the ball kind of researcher. Wow. Had really high profile guests on there. John Wheeler, Wedge the Ledge, David Steele, Robert David Steele. Why would he be on Sean Atwood? Hmm. Maybe lending credibility to someone who shouldn't have credibility. That's my opinion. Also, I wanted to kind of like recommend the some documentaries that you just need to watch, and it's called Pedogate 1, 2, and 3. You will find the whole trilogy on my Facebook page. You're not going to be able to watch them on YouTube. They're not on YouTube. Mouthy Buddha made it. Pedogate 1, 2. It was a big hitter in the truthing community. Well, it actually changed shit. Let's put it that way. My whole point of putting up these documentaries is to basically show people in the UK what Pizzagate actually is. Yeah, and I mean, it is to do with Comet Ping Pong, obviously, but that is just such a tiny part of what Pizzagate is about. The Pizzagate researchers that I have been, following for a long time now, are the best out there. The way they fact-based research, but put together in a really good way. I'm always picking up memory old, like I've got that, I've got him, but Mouthy Buddha, I kind of forgot about for a while because obviously like distractions and this, that, and the other. But I actually watched the Pedogate 1, 2, and 3 over again because you can never watch them too much, and they are an absolute wealth of information, unbelievable, mind blowing, really well put together docs. And I'm just going to give you a few examples of how you can. And for me, a difference. Mouthy Buddha's, he's got this way. He puts things together. He sees things that other people don't. And he shows you there's a clip of Anthony Bourdain, the one who they suicided off, and he's sitting in a Vietnamese restaurant with Obama. Him are two words. Now, these two words mean no smoking. And he types it in, and it literally, I kid you not, it takes you to this BH, nothing to do with Brian, by the way. It's this BH Kids, which guess where that leads you to, people? Do I mean? And this is from just two words that say no smoking. This is how blatant these people are. Then in Pedogate 2, Now, if you put in BH Kids now, nothing comes up. In Pedagate 2, it's I don't know if any of you have heard of the SRC USA. Tom Hanks had been posting up weird pictures, random glove, always look like child's stuff. And he would just post them up randomly. And you know, like some sick, there was a bloody little trainer that, you know, some really subliminal, let's say. And he put up a photo of a glove on a drain. In chalk next to it, it said SRC USA. And it took you to Yandex. And guess where it led to, people? Now, really, you do not have to be a rocket scientist to see. It all heads to child well, definitely inappropriate photograph. That's how it starts off, and they don't even bloody hide it. Tap in SRC now, SRC USA, gone. Off Yandex, gone. You know, I've no doubt that one's popped straight back up again, but there is things that do make a difference. Now, considering Mouthy Buddha, Adam Reaver, Memory Hold, even Jay Myers, whose documentaries I've been putting up as well, very, very watchable, very, very, very nuggets of information. He puts it together so well. But even, you know, even him, I found him through Pizzagate. And and Mouthy Buddha is now. I've put it up on Facebook already. Only 3 days old. Elite Human Trafficking 3. People, I can't begin to how much you all need to watch these documentaries. They're not unwatchable. They're not, but they are so well put together, well documented. Yeah, and I actually think I'm a little way towards waking the UK up to Pizzagate, because when you actually get your head around Pizzagate and what it actually is, and all the fact-based evidence. I mean, it's ridiculous to say it's been debunked. It's just beyond belief to me. But the suppression of it over here is an absolute joke. Absolute joke. I mean, you even David Icke, even though he's you know, I don't have not a lot of respect left for him, but even he come out against Pizzagate. Pizzagate scares the elites. And we're not like America, you know, we're tiny. So if people over here start waking up to it, it's more of a problem for them. And do you know what? If I wake up and I do know I'm waking people up. I do know that. I do know people are beginning to open their eyes, because you don't have to like look through a load of shit about Pizzagate to find these documentaries I'm putting up. Once you see them, you will realise. And that's all I want people to do, is just have a look at the quality of the work, right? And I will say, like, Pedogate 1, 2, and 3, you need that. I mean, seriously, everyone needs to watch that trilogy. But then you have the Elite Human Traffic trilogy, which is Terramar, which is Ghislaine Maxwell's Terramar project. And then you have Elite Human Trafficking 2, and now he's brought out Elite Human Trafficking 3, Cabal. Oh, Jesus. So hold on. Let me just have a look. So I'm looking at it on. Right. It's one of the last ones I put up. Second, Elite Human Trafficking Patterns of the Cabal. It's one of the first ones that come up, but every single documentary on there is really, really, they're all good. I actually put one up about Kinsey yesterday, and that's by Adam Reaver, from Dauntless Dialogue. Dauntless Dialogue, I know, has something to do with Mouthy Buddha. I'm not too sure what it is, but it's a fantastic channel. I think they're independent of YouTube, because when you subscribe to them, it comes up a bit different. Yeah, but when I say to you, every single, like, it is worth a watch. But obviously I knew about Dr. Kinsey. I knew what a piece of shit he actually really was, but it went beyond that. And he was reading from, he wasn't pulling it out of the ether. And I suggest that people go and have a look at that one as well. That's it, it's about the fourth, fifth one down. And Kinsey was hailed as like the revolutionary sex doctor. God. Um, he was one sick son of a bitch, and he's portraying. I didn't even know they'd made a film about him in 2004. Liam Neeson. Couldn't make this shit up. If you knew how sick this piece of shit was, he used to pay paedophiles to abuse their own children, and it's not a theory, people. It's an actual complete and utter fact. Not like, seriously, and it's all documented. But he also worked the person who trained his paedophiles on how. I wouldn't. I don't even need to say it, do I? His name was Dr. Green. Probably coincidence, but hey ho. That was the name adopted by Dr. Mengele. Dr. Mengele was the Nazi doctor, Angel of Death they called him. But he was like mind control expert, like Himmler and Hitler had done a lot of research on it. And on the MK Ultra, if you're interested in the MK Ultra, there is I've put a documentary up. It's by Jay Myers. It looks a bit cartoonish, guys. Don't be put off by that. There's nothing cartoon. It's a really good. He puts it in a way where it's really easy to kind of like see, to kind of get your head around it a bit more, really, 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 really well thought out documentary. And basically, he tells you about the epigenetics. And the way he puts this and is basically it's trauma stored in DNA. Now that may sound a bit nuts, but I suggest go and watch it. And once your appetite is wet, it's a fascinating, absolutely fascinating subject. And once you get your head around it, you kind of you see it. And it has a sliding scale. You've got obviously you've got the mass mind control, which is what the media do. They make us forget about things that you don't think you're going to forget. Like I said, the Piers Morgan story, absolute scandal in its time. Faking a front page story. Oh God, that old chestnut. But now we know, But I'm talking like it was years ago when he got sacked from the Mirror. Now it was such a massive scandal that he had to duck out to the good old USA. But yet he's come back and no one remembers it. Um, and even when you know about this stuff, you start realizing it is, and that was 20 years ago. How much do you think they've perfected their art by now? Yeah, but it goes for on the and right the way up to a complete mind control. Kathy O'Brien, she wrote a book called Transformation of America, TRANCE, Formation of America. Fantastic read. Absolutely fantastic and full of the science and the history of mind control, which actually it's in the Egyptian Book of the Dead. It actually trauma-based mind control is actually in the Egyptian Book of the Dead. I'm not. That's no. You can Google it. You can and the Catholics have known about it since the Catholic Inquisition. It's not even though the the mass the amount is carried out is a 20th, like J. Myers put, a 20th century. It has been going on from day. The way and the way they put it as well is if your brain has amnesic barriers, right? I'm just going to give you a big, but like I said, you need to watch the J. Myers MK Ultra, and you can even see, there's one up. I'm going to put it up after it's 6 ways to recognize MK Ultra, and um, there are signs like you have one eye bigger than the other, and sometimes when it glitches and they're left in between, that's happened quite a lot as well. But MK Ultra is people roll their eyes when you mention that, and if you look into it a bit, open your mind. Like I said, I suggest watch the doc. If you don't like it, turn it off. If you think it's bullshit, turn it off. At least give it a go. Yeah, that's all I want people to do is to give it a go. What else was I going to chat about? Um, oh yeah, I see this saying today, and it's by Mark Twain, and it says it's easier to fool people than to convince people that they have been fooled. I kind of like that saying. That was another person, Jay Parker. Um, Jay Parker is somebody I have posted his stuff up before. The only thing that I'm a bit about is that he did do the ITNJ seatings, but there has to be people that are credible. There has to be. And he is a survivor, he's a multi generational, but he's different. He's because I'm staying away from survivor stories and all that. I'm staying well away. But this, he's not like it's not full of what happened to me and this happened to me and that. He goes in depth about about the Illuminati. His mum was an Amalekite witch, and he goes right. And when I tell you now, he's so interesting. And I haven't posted that yet. I'm going to post that up because I wanted people to know why I was posting this. Do I know? Could I say he's 100% credible? That's not what I'm putting him up for. I'm putting him up because he's such an interesting guy. He's into consciousness. He talks about like basically he's saying that cannabis is a natural healer for cancer, but and he actually said that they've known this since 1947 that cannabis cures cancer. But he talks about what he doesn't talk about is really, oh, this happened to me, that happened to me. He just goes through that. But he was actually there was a town, Arden, Delaware, and it was like one of them complete satanic, like everyone there apart from a couple of bods, because they had to have decent people, couple of people there that are not into this this sick shit. That's what I call it, sick shit. Because that's what it is to me. But yeah, he had to have a couple of people, but he's so interesting. He talks about, he even mentions Atlantis. I personally believe that Atlantis did exist without a shadow of a doubt. And he knows a lot about the witches, their bloodlines, and yeah, he's just an all-round really, really interesting guy. But for me, I've decided that my aim is to wake wake people up to not up. I'm not going after anyone in particular. I mean, obviously, they're always going to be the usual suspects. I'm never going to stop with the Sean Atwood because he's the biggest fraudster out there. He's the biggest fraudster out there. And John Wedger, he's another one. He's another gatekeeper. That fucker. He's been around from time. Yeah, it involved in bringing Brian into a whole heap of madness, and now me into a whole, well, not into a whole heap of madness. It worked for a hot minute, same as what he did with T. But that's not because I'm dumb. It's because I genuinely, yeah, it's because I genuinely, But I'm no one's fucking puppet, mate. Let me tell you that now. Yeah, I might have been gullible. That don't make me a puppet. Because if I was a puppet without a master, I would fall. I'm still standing, still talking, still just saying. So yeah. What else did I have planned? I did what I was going to talk about. No, I am going to talk about free to be kids because they are still going. And I just don't believe that the people who run it, should be. I wouldn't even leave my dogs with these people, mate. Let me tell you. But free to be kids sprung up. You've got Camilla Batman Jelly. Let me start with her. Camilla Batman Jelly. The BBC done a doc on her. You make up your own mind, watch it, make up your own shit. Then they called her the Angel of Peckham. She did look like she'd eaten. I've made that joke before, but it is quite funny. She looks like she's eaten on most of Peckham, right? But she's an Iranian royalty. She's actual Iranian royalty. She also happens to be a Tavistock trained psychologist. And she's awful. Not only is she awful, she's fucking evil. But Kids Company was running for 26 years out of Peckham. But in 2002, because of allegations of abuse, trafficking, her funding, because she got government funding, like 43 million, I think she ended up at the whole shebang. But her funding was taken away. Now, bearing in mind her partner, trustee, whatever, I don't even know what the fuck it was, Alan Yentop, that big dude from the BBC, not the office boy. And you had Lawrence Guinness. And basically, David Cameron, Tony Blair, And guess who? Harriet Harman stepped in and got her back her funding because of the amazing work that she does with underprivileged children from, Peckham, the Borough of Lambeth. That. Where's my light? Oh, sorry, I'm looking for my light now. I've lost my light. Oh, for fuck's sake, where's my light gone? Um, yeah. Anyway, funding got reinstated after the intervention from the. Oh, there it is. Intervention from. Ah, shit. Sorry about that. Intervention from these politicians. And Harriet Harman, do not forget, worked for Liberty, who represented PI, which is the Paedophile Information Exchange. That is a whole podcast in itself, and I think I will be going over that actually, because PI was a legitimate organisation, full of nonsense, just wanting to make nonsense legal. That's what it boiled down to. But Harriet Harman, she it wasn't a lawyer fix. She actively tried to get the age of consent lowered to, I think it was 9. It was also due to her that this photography, because I don't think a lot of people realise that they made that legal. And what it is it's okay to have naked or semi-naked photos of children as long as the children wasn't harmed. And I'm not kidding you, people, that is a fact. So Harriet Harman steps in, and there's even, I've put up articles with her, there's even pictures of her from the papers giving a talk to the underprivileged children from Kids Company. And then it got to 2015, and her inappropriation, they couldn't ignore it anymore. This and this woman, it's ridiculous. How corrupt and how smug. And I don't want people to forget that John Wedger worked with Camilla, not just worked, was very close friends. Because when I first found out that he was, because I knew about Camilla from day back in the light. Seriously, it's not, it's not nothing. It's no big secret what piece of shit she is. Especially because she affected the areas and people that I know, with her fucking disgusting practices. Lives in Knightsbridge. But John was doing the food bank with her for 3 years. And when I said to him, why do you trust her? He said, because she handed in the rains list. And that's when I thought, hang on a minute, hang on, say it ain't right here. Fucking hell, I hear this rains list being thrown here, there, here, there. I haven't heard it recently, though. And I no doubt that I'd probably 90% of the people on there, it's true. But you're always going to be a 10%. That ain't true. And you can be guaranteed that he's like, oh, I'm kind of getting a bit used to it. I see all this shit coming now. Especially Sharon Gow, you couldn't make that up. I mean, come on. But where was I? Look, I've done all right so far, and I ain't got my train of thought lost, and now it has. Oh yeah, and we're talking about free to be kids. And in 2015, Kids Company closed. But then up popped Free to Be Kids. And the people who run Free to Be Kids, there's Mike G, Rachel Nichol, I can't remember who the other bird was, but Mike G is the one that I'm concentrating on. Because for me, there is a complete conflict of public and private enterprises. Mike G worked for Kids Company, I think it was for 19, 20 years, completely mentored by Camilla Batman Jelly. But not only for me, I think he's a bit worse actually, because he's a freelance social worker, yeah, selling his wares to the highest bidder. He's a safeguarding expert. He is an expert witness for the family courts in complex cases. He also works within fostering, education, very high up. Looks a bit like Savile if you ask me, but I shouldn't be bitchy. Don't be bitchy, Mickey. All right. But this is what he does publicly, and he works within schools. He's an education expert. Everything's expert. But he also runs a private social consultancy. And he works within the fostering, placing foster children with foster parents. Now, this man has the authority to take your children. No joke, no, nothing. This man is expert at what he does. So he has the authority. He will have the last say. If he walks in your house and he says these children are in danger, they're gone. Now, he runs this social work consultancy. It's within the private, so he basically gets paid for every foster child that he places in foster care. Now, I don't have to be a rocket science to think that could be very problematic. If you profit from the foster caring side, and that's what it is, it's a profit making, it's not but whatever they call it. And yet you have the authority to have a child removed from its parents. Am I the only person that thinks that that's a bit not quite right? And his name's Mike G. Yeah, he lives in Mayfair as well, and his family, he's got a charity empire going on. But the reason why I'm focusing on him is because it's a London-based charity. It's an active charity. Just have a butcher's for yourself. They're the ones who run the clothing line. Oh, I forgot to put that up actually. But if anyone wants to go and view their clothing line, it's on you put in Free to Be Kids baby clothing, and it all comes up. And just have a look and see what you think. Whether you think it. And their caption above it is "Start 'em young" is what we say. And like I said, the baby 0 to 6 months, be kind even when stuff gets hard. You'd be surprised, but they actually fit it on there. And yeah, not after I see a child in a pizza slut t-shirt, they said, yeah. And they also run art weekends in Epping Forest. Now, I just want you to go and have a look at these people and see, would you let your child? Well, I suppose you can't really go on looks, but he looks like a freak to me. Absolute freak to me. That may be because I may be over, but just have a butcher's all for yourself. Have a look at Camilla Batmangeli, who just got away with something, in the middle of the lockdown. I'm saying she got let off of Joe, yeah. So she's cracking on with her charities, which brings me to Jeanette Archer and John Wedger. I I know that there was talk of a charity between Jeanette Archer, Camilla Batmangeli, and John Wedger. I don't know if Lou Dickens will speak. I don't know if she will confirm that Camilla Batmangeli was definitely in touch talking about charities, and it bothers me. It absolutely bothers me because I've actually met Jeanette Archer, and obviously I've met John Wedger, so I can make this. They're not good people. They're not good people. Let's not forget the Millie Molly makeovers as well, for victims of and these people should not have access to victims. They should not have access to any victims, especially delivering. Do you know what? But all jokes aside, they're still having access to victims. Yeah, and we've got the Wong case coming up. Yeah, um, and do you know what? For me, if you are going to abduct a child, you don't have to do it like that. Personally, but at the very, very, very least, never mind he's ready. He's a lobbyist, MP's favourite, and all that. Old Lord Alton flies around Jubilee campaign. Yeah, taking that out, at the very core, how is abducting an 8-year-old by knife point an answer to anything? And someone sent me Jeanette Archer's latest live, and she's basically trying to justify what he's doing, saying that we must do whatever we must do. What are you trying to say, love? Really? But for me, all that bothers me. I couldn't give a what they're doing, but I care about the victims who who believe in these people. Yeah, and I know a lot of people do with John. It's these people are not the knights in shining armor. In fact, oh my God, they're the worst. But they're just still cracking on with their lies and their bullshit and their fake. And I'll give you Sean Atwood. How much money has been funneled through Sean Atwood? And but they're just bullshit. Absolute in bullshit. It's just, and for me, that's where people have to go for the truth. Sean Atwood, Sharon Gale, John Wedger, Jeanette Art, like it's and Brian is the only, I would say, in this community, the only one who hasn't got any ulterior motive. Yeah, he's got his own shit going on. Do you know what I mean? He ain't got no alter. He's been saying this for fucking 8 years, and I can't be doing that. I can't be doing that. But you know, and I know people are probably thinking that for some reason, because we haven't been, that me and Brian are not in contact or we're not talking, I talk to Brian regularly. In fact, I run a lot by Brian, what I'm going to say or what do I think is in, because he represents to me somebody who, if I can, he started to watch Memory, and I will take that as a win, you know. And when I say, Chad, the shit that's going on, yeah, it's bigger than Ghislaine Maxwell. This is just the same fucking ring over and over and over and over again. Just different faces, mind you. There's still there's all you've got you Marina Abramovich. She's always in and around any evil shit going on. And I would like to remind people that Rachel Chandler Guinness is a photographer for Marina Abramovich. Um, And yeah, she's married into a family that Children's Society, Kids Company, all them great children's charities that really look after underprivileged children, take them to Epping Forest so that they can get in touch with nature. Yeah, all right. Um, you know, maybe I am a bit cynical. Maybe I am a bit down on sometimes humanity. You know, it's because you look around and you think, shit. The normalization of pedophilia and I mean, how are we even? How is that even being the normalization? And yet, I urge people to go and look at the. It's called Baby Burlesque, and it's basically the first offerings of Disney. It wasn't Disney at the time; it was just called Baby Burlesque. In fact, I'm going to post it up as soon as I get off air. And it's a black and white Shirley Temple and babies. They are in nappies. These babies are in nappies. And what you're watching is blatant. It's so, you know, you've got a little boy on all fours and there's a bottle of milk leak out. Oh my God, it's terrible. And they dress Shirley Temple up like a little, like a prostitute. And then once she's being passed around by all these men, oh no, it's so bad. There's no way we're going to go back. Like, I can't even believe that people were cool with that, but they're iconic films. Yeah, you know, there's films that she's been in that, you know, where she puts her head down, she got all that white pad all over her nose, and um, but Baby Burlesque, you know, if you want to see the origins of Disney, you, yeah, but it's horrific. It really is horrific at how cool and okay people were with it. Um, but for me, there's no normalising, no exploitation of not just children, of humanity. Um, Human beings have now become a commodity in whatever way you want to put it, exploited in every which way possible. Children are the most expensive commodity on the planet because they're so recyclable. With an adult, if you got you ain't got a long lifespan, you get a child. There's so many children bred into it now. Um, but even with the amount of breeders they've got, they're still whacking children from legally now. Legally, there are so many entrapment ways, but yeah, that's for another day. Um, But even if you buy it, and there are auctions, please do never think that's a step too far. But if you buy a child, especially under the age of 8, because after 8 it's too late, is a saying from NAMBLA, which is the North American Boy Love Association, which seems to me that's what pie was. It was just morphed. It's the load of when it weren't acceptable no more in England, they just cracked on over there and just done their NAMBLA, But pie was yeah. Also, they got I think it was funding for 35,000, £70,000. They got granted funding twice, both for £35,000 funding. Funding, paedophile information exchange, and paedophilia. Oh, I learnt about what they call virtuous paedophiles, if you don't mind. Fucking virtuous paedophiles. Who thought that up? Virtuous paedophiles who do not want to hurt children, just want normal, loving relationships. How is virtuous paedophiles a thing? There ain't no virtuous paedophiles. A nonce is a fucking nonce, whatever way you want to put. No virtuous. There ain't nothing virtuous about it or mildly attractive. A nonce is a fucking nonce. And even if you're looking at pornography, child pornography, you're going to progress to a nonce. No two ways about it. Yeah, that's if you're into that shit, you're into that shit. Yeah, so it's people say, "Oh, what should we do?" Oh, I ain't got a clue, mate. How to fix this? All I can do is that it'd be a good start if people kind of realised that the arts and embassies is just a legal way for them to traffic without having to go through customs. I mean, come on, yeah, come on. And who do you think that's available to? It ain't available to even wealthy, even well off. We're talking about the most elite. Elites. I don't even like that word, mate, because it's just the elite just means scumbag to me. To be quite honest with you, that's how it's getting. And their philanthropy. I can't even say the fucking word. Philanthropy. Um, Does anybody know what that actually is? Because it just means sick fuck, doesn't it? Weren't he an expert in it? Philanthropy. Epstein. If I remember rightly, that Chuck E. Cheese guy, that Leon Black, paid him 70 grand in 2019. The guy who runs Chuck E. Cheese paying a convicted sex offender. I think it was about 150 grand. Was it? It was definitely over 50 grand for philanthropy advice. But these words, they only exist in them circles. They really do only exist in them circles. But you see that popping up over and over and over and over again. It's like the little code words. But do you know what? I've been rabbiting on now for 53 minutes. I still can't see the comments because they're not even coming up. But I do read them afterwards, by the way. I'm not ignoring anybody. I'm not dissing anybody. It's just that I get too distracted. And once I get distracted, that's it, my train of thought. But thanks for listening to my episode of Nikki's Just Saying. And I will definitely be seeing you. I'm getting more comfortable at this, by the way. But thanks for listening. And I shall see you soon. Oh my god, I can't end this bloody video.